What's going on, everybody? We're gonna do a one-take wonder, like Eminem, I don't know, all that crazy stuff. Anyway, we went ahead and did the SMT wheel set on the previous video, and I went ahead and got the extender bracket for the factory Fender. But what I'm doing is I am actually putting a 21-inch slicer Fender from Klock Werks on here. So, not gonna edit this video or anything. The Klock Werks fenders, we actually are able to sell them through the fairing exchange, and we will color match to any Harley-Davidson color, size, whatever else for you guys to install. So what we did is we've got the Klock Werks fenders in stock, went ahead, painted it vivid black, the color of my Road Glide 3, and we're gonna install that right now. So hang in there. This hopefully won't take too terribly long. The big thing is you got to watch out because you really don't want to nick up your fork lowers or anything like that, or the factory fairing or fender if you're planning on using it again, or if you're going to sell it or anything like that. So you're just going to have to take your time with some of that stuff. But really, it's pretty simple. The Allen wrench is a 1/4 inch, and the open-ended wrench is a 1/2 inch. So pretty simple if you look at the fenders. Now with the Road Glide 3 fenders, they actually have a nut built into the fender strut, as they call them, where it connects into. We're not using that. So we're going to get this installed real quick here. Hopefully it's not going to take too terribly long. Sorry, my ratchet's a little loud. So I'm not taking the bolts off of each side quite yet. What I'll do is I'll take one bolt off, but I'm leaving the other bolts on there just to kind of hold the fender and everything, so things aren't sitting around, bouncing around and hitting each other. So what I'll end up doing is I'll get these loose to the point where I'd be able to take them off finger. Finger tight, finger loose, however you want to call that. But the one good thing about the Klock Werks fenders is they're 100% cold rolled stamped fenders. They aren't the cheap things that you would normally see from other places. And I'm working in some tight areas here. So the actual quality of the fender is really well. That's one of the reasons why us at the Fairing Exchange has decided to go with the Klock Werks fenders, as far as whenever we're upgrading a bike or we're customizing a bike for a customer, anything of that nature. And it's nice to have those fenders in stock, and whichever one you want to choose. Like I said, this is the one I got is the 21-inch slicer. They make them for 19s. They make them for 23s on up. You can go to their website and check out all their fenders. But when people think of Klock Werks, they're like, well, they're just windshields. No, they're not just windshields. That's for sure. So, pretty simple. As they say, even a caveman can do it. I don't know. But I got these wheels on here, and just by the look, I mean, the stock fender doesn't look bad, but I really want something to accentuate, I guess that's the word, the 21-inch Magnum wheel that I got from SMT. And seeing some of the bikes that we do for customers that come through the Fairing Exchange, that we've put them on there, I'm like, yep. I'm definitely doing that when I decide to get this wheel set done. So it's actually fairly simple. You got 4 bolts. The fenders themselves come with the brackets that you can use. They've got a little spacer in them because the actual fender, when I get it out, I'll show it to you. is nice and straight, and then they come in with a bracket spacer that you connect everything else to. So there's the factory fender with those extensions that I had to put on there for the 21-inch wheel, but we don't need that anymore. Apologize for all the noise. So we'll get the Klock Werks one out here. Excessively wrapped, but it's a fresh paint job that the guys did. And that's the other thing, like us at the Fairing Exchange, we can do custom paint jobs on complete bikes, parts, anything like that. You reach out to us and we'll be able to get those done for you. Not me, I'm not a painter. But anyway, this is the slicer, and this is what I was talking about, is this comes straight down. The spacer that we're going to be using, which is one of these, it's just a little block spacer. It'll sit in between the actual fork and the fender, just like that. So the big thing is, it's got that good circumference, that wraparound look to it. We'll get this sat on the tire for the moment. So, oh gosh, yeah, that's gonna look freaking awesome. So, we got the gloss black ones here. If you've got other colors and stuff like that, if you've got chrome lower forks and stuff, they do have chrome spacers as well that they can use for that. And again, they send you everything. You get all, let me just pour these out here. Sorry if it's really noisy. But they give you all the bolts and the nuts, same as what I just took off. And the big thing is like I said before, you just got to be very, very cautious. You don't want to scratch anything, especially on a black bike. That would be terrible. So I'm just going to take a nut on this first bolt and just kind of have it resting in there finger tight until I get both sides done. And yeah, I mean, it's a Fender. Exciting? No, but I think it looks freaking awesome. Also got a new cordless mic set up that seems to be working out fairly well. So if I'm excessively loud, I apologize. But you can even replace a fender. You just got to make sure everything gets lined up right. And then when you tighten these down, you want to make sure everything is sitting where it's supposed to be sitting. So I've got everything, oh, one more nut. Everything finger tight. And just making sure that the fender and everything, there is a little bit of play, so you don't want the front of the fender sitting there resting down on the tire. So what I end up doing is I'll actually hold the front tip of the fender up a little bit, just to keep that space there, because there always seems like there's enough room down on the bottom in the back, but when you tighten things up, that fender wants to shift. So not too terribly bad as far as trying to get this all taken care of. But it does make a difference as far as like how the bike looks when you're wanting to get that front end buttoned up really good. You know, it just sometimes when you're upgrading your bikes, the one thing a lot of people don't think about is that fender. And they go ahead and leave the original fender on it, and you're like, man, you need to upgrade that fender. So, oh, I've got tight space here. So that's pretty much it. The one thing that I like about the slicer is it follows that rim, that wheel line, so you can actually see the whole rim through it, except for this part here, of course, but really can see that whole rim. Brings that fender out forward a little bit more, but my big thing is it drops it down and comes down all the way down to the bottom. So that's it. That's the install. Let me show you around real quick here. So pretty simple. We got that bracket spacer that we had there, bolt and nut right there, both sides, but really sets that front wheel off with that wrapper fender. Yeah, I like that for sure. Again, this is the slicer that I put on there, and we do offer those at the fairing exchange. Get you snap back in here. So quick one-hit wonder video. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Again, y'all be safe. Always give more. Peace.